Salutations, everyone. Welcome back to the Sudoku Writer channel. My name is Nkechi, and today I'm going to be talking about all the books I read in the month of March. So, the title of this video is not a lie. It was my birthday. My birthday was, let's see, I'm recording this on April 1st, so my birthday was like 3-4 days ago. And it was a really good birthday. However, my reading month? Oh, my reading month, y'all, not good. What in the world was March? I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was the fact that I was going so well with February. It was really ambitious too. I didn't think I'd read that much in February. And then March just dipped. I dipped. Not in just the quantity of books, but also the quality drastically dropped in March. And I'm not happy about that. So, yeah, let me just quickly go over the stats since there's not much to really talk about. I've read 4 books, which is not utterly terrible. I've read less in a month. However, the time I read that little in a month, it was still better quality-wise. And we'll get to that. So, I've read 4. I DNF'd 1 book. Pages read, we have 701 pages. So that's physical and digital, which is a lot lower than I would like. And audiobook listening with 26.77 hours, which is very, very little for someone who really likes to listen to audiobooks. So, yeah, I really was just not reading much. But the worst thing, though, the actual worst thing, though, was the average rating. The average rating was 2.75 stars. That is the worst average rating. I truly believed February will have the worst average rating. However, March said, nah, it is literally going to be March where you have the worst, where the average rating is less than a 3. Oh my gosh, I thought average rating less than a 4 was bad. No, less than a 3 is terrible. That's pretty much it. That's all my spiel. That's the stats. It's really not really good. I don't know. I truly don't understand what happened in March for me to read this little and to have terrible reads. Anyways, let's talk about the 1 book I DNF'd this month, which was on my Kindle. It actually was an ARC too, which I really am not happy about. I don't like DNFing ARCs, especially for this particular ARC, because I was really looking forward to reading this book since I hadn't seen anyone else really anticipating it. But now I'm seeing a little bit more love for it since it is coming out literally April 9th. But I might read the finished copy instead. Who knows? At this point, I'm just tired of the book itself. I literally felt like this book put me in a reading slump. The Last Spy Hunter by Celine Goldenberg. So this is the book that I kind of briefly talked about in my spring TBR. And I'm sad to say that I did DNF it. I think I DNF'd it like 26%, so about a solid 1/4 of the way through. And it's not like the book is bad at all. I don't think it's terribly written. I don't think it's terribly paced either. The characters are not terrible. Nothing about this I would consider it as bad. It's just that I was bored. Honestly, there's definitely a part of it that I'm intrigued by because of the premise of this being a Thai-inspired fantasy, which is it's a type of fantasy I've never read before, which is why I requested it, because I really wanted to read a book like that. Especially since it was a debut novel as well. I'm like, hello, give this book a chance. And I had problems with reading this particular e-arc. As far as the actual format itself, the format is kind of fine, but I didn't like that there were no table of contents for me. And I know not every arc has to have a table of contents, but since it did have actual chapters, I felt like it should have had a table of contents because the chapters felt really, really long, and I really wanted to know to like gauge on how long these chapters are, but I could not tell with the table of contents, so that really sucked for me. Also, I kind of was having a really hard time connecting with our main character, X, and especially when he is going on this journey with this woman. I wasn't really feeling them much, honestly. I was kind of getting really bored with it, and I really had no idea where it was even going to go direction-wise, and the writing in the world was not interesting enough for me to just continue on with it. Again, it's not bad, but like I did get pretty bored, and it took me so long just to even read 1 chapter, to the point I was just like, this thing is going to put me in a freaking reading slump. So I had to put it down, because I was like, if I continue on, I'm going to have a really long reading slump on my birthday month, and I'm not having it. Oh gosh, and it really sucks though. I do think I will try it again, but I think I'll read the finished copy. I don't know if the finished copy even have a table of contents. Probably will not, but still, I think, having seen it physically with my eyes will help me to gauge on how long the book is. And also, maybe if I hear some other people who have read it to see if this is worth my time reading again. I don't know. But I am sad that I did DNF it. But, it's not bad. I recommend at least giving it a shot, for sure, for just the premise and the idea alone. So, yeah, I don't think this will be like a permanent DNF. I do see myself kind of returning to it, but not right away. But, yeah, it comes out April 9th by Angry Robot Books. So thank you to Angry Robot Books for giving me an e-arc via NetGalley in exchange for an honest review. But I just could not finish it. So at least to start off the month really strong, though, because I did start off the month not being able to read for some reason for 3 days. I don't know what happened. But then the 4th day, I just marathon finishing this one book on my Kindle called Only for the Weak by Natasha Bishop. This is a contemporary romance. It follows a young woman named Janelle, who is the maid of honor to her sister's wedding, and the husband-to-be is actually Janelle's ex-boyfriend, who later on then dated her sister, which I know is kind of like a very interesting way of going about it. I'm like, that's an interesting way. I kind of find that a little shady. And the stress of being the maid of honor to a sister like Amari, good lord, Janelle really needed a break. So she kind of gets into like this friends with benefits situation thing with Rome, who is one of the husband-to-be's best friend. I don't really remember the husband-to-be's name. Oh yeah, I remember now. It was Aaron, I think it was Aaron. Yeah, Aaron, one of like Aaron's homies. And Janelle and Rome kind of knew each other, but then Rome was always into Janelle, and it's like, well, let's do this friends with benefits. Like, if you just need time to just like kind of decompress, hit me up. So, yeah. That's pretty much like the setup of it all. And I did really enjoy it. I gave it 4.25 stars. I did actually believe the romance between Janelle and Rome. I really like Rome as like a male love interest. He definitely deserves the title of a book husband, because, look, y'all, if any of y'all are into men, get y'all a cis man that rent you a yacht for a day so that you could read on the water. That's the level of Rome right there. Look, these are people who've got money, okay? They're not like they're not millionaires or anything, but they got some money, okay? They got money that you could rent a yacht. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yes, black people with some money, let's go. And also, renting a yacht? Seriously, up the bar, okay? He did it up the bar. So I really like that regarding the their relationship and stuff. And I also did like Janelle as well, and I really was feeling very, very sympathetic with her, with dealing with her sister, maid of bride to be, right? Sister Amari. That woman, I was really hating on the sister. So content warnings, honestly, on gaslighting and emotional abuse, because also the mom is also guilty of this, of emotional abuse. But Amara was gaslighting Janelle like crazy, and it was irritating the fuck out of me. I was being so mad. I was getting a headache from the lighthearted, funny romance. I'm getting a freaking headache from all the gaslighting that Janelle was experiencing from Amari and the mother. The mother was enabling this behavior for Amari. Oh my gosh. So I was really glad, though. That situation definitely does work out, though, in the end, just to let y'all know. But, oof, I was getting a headache. So I couldn't give it like a full 5 stars or anything, because I was getting too much of a headache. Also, I did feel like in the beginning part regarding Janelle and Rome, I felt a little bit more just on sexual attraction, less so romantic attraction between the two. I didn't really start believing the romance, the actual romance between the two, until like around halfway through. Because I just felt it was just a lot more sexual, but I could definitely see, at least on Rome's side, because it's also dual POV. We do get Rome's POV as well, as along with Janelle. So it was easier to see and actually believe the romance developing between the two, for sure. But for a while there, I was thinking it was more sexual than anything. So definitely kind of went on graphic sexual content. It's up there. But yeah, emotional abuse, gaslighting is definitely up there. Toxic relationship, for sure. Misogyny, it's a minor thing, but we do have a couple side guy characters to be misogynistic. But it's been handled well, though. So yeah, there's that. Also, kind of warning for Amari accusing Janelle of infidelity, please. Because, like, I swear, Amari, ooh, she made me so mad. Anyways, yeah, that's my thoughts on Only for the Weak. The book was good, okay? Book was good. But gosh, did I get a headache. So, after that headache of a romance, I decided to move on to one of the books that I recently got, and I finally read Faebound by Sarah Al-Arifi. This is the first book and a new trilogy. It's I think a romantic fantasy, I think is what this is. This pretty much follows two elven sisters, and one of them gets exiled from the elven lands and ends up into the mysterious Fae court that they thought they didn't even exist. So this one's kind of like in between. There were some points that I was reading it with my eyeballs, and other points, for the most part, really, I read it via audio. Bonnie Turpin does narrate the audiobook, so if y'all are a fan of Bonnie Turpin's narration, I definitely do kind of recommend the audiobook. I'm only saying kind of because I feel like the audiobook was not well produced, and I also felt like there were some points in the audiobook narration I don't know, it felt really weird, honestly. Just like I don't think like audio wise, like the actual sounds of the narration felt even distant, and it was really weird, and I noticed it, and it happened way too many times for me to not notice it. So I don't know if I really recommend the audiobook, honestly, but I really could not do much reading physically with my eyeballs. I don't know if it's because of the book itself or because of my mood. I don't know. Regardless, I like this book. I did try Sarah Al-Arifi's debut novel of The Final Strife like 2 years ago, but I didn't have the first chapter. But when I saw Faebound, I was like, okay, this one seems way more up my alley. And it is. I definitely did generally like it. I didn't love it, though. I was hoping I would. I gave this like 3 stars. At first, I was thinking like 3.5. But then I thought about it some more as far as like the plot and the world building. And I was like, actually, no, this is more like a solid 3 than a 3.5. Because I like the world of exploring like the Fae court and regarding the Fae, hence Faebound. However, as far as the elves and their world, I don't really understand why they're this forever war and trying to get this particular material. I'm like, okay, so there's like financial benefits, but is that really it with this particular material? And I don't know if it's like a setup for like the second book, so I have to wait and see how the second book fares with that particular point regarding the elven lands and their world building. And also, I didn't particularly love the romance pairings in here. So we have Yirin with Fury, with our Sappho relationship, and then we have Lidl with Ryan. I liked Yirin and Fury, sort of. It took me a while, honestly, to really get into their romance, and it took me even longer to even care about Lidl and Ryan, because honestly, those two I really wasn't getting. Especially with Ryan's part, I was like, okay, I guess. And just like, this is some sort of romantic subplot thing. For some reason, the male love interest has interest in this female love interest main character here. I don't really get why, but you know, just over there. And then with Yirin and Fury, I saw more of them together, so it made more sense for me. Even though at first I was like, I don't know how this is gonna work, but okay, you're gonna sell me eventually, I guess. And it kind of did. Not really fully sold on it, though, personally. So, yeah, the romances, I wasn't really quite sold, but I really am more interested in the fantasy plot and the world building here, at least. So I'm gonna read the sequel whenever that one comes out. Regardless, though, if you have not checked out Faebound, I do recommend giving it a shot if you have not. But just know that there's gonna be a lot of setup here and stuff, and I'm not totally sure where things are gonna be. I mean, I have an idea where things are gonna go, but we'll see. And what happens in Faebound 2, what Sarah Al-Arif is going to do with that sequel. But yeah, I at least recommend giving this a shot if you have not read it already. And then after that, I went to just solely an audiobook read, so I don't have the book physically, and I didn't read it from my Kindle. And it was Black Liturgies by Cole Arthur Riley. This is the same person who created Black Liturgies, the Instagram account. And I actually really like the Instagram account, so I was kind of surprised I was able to get the audiobook from Libby. And it's also narrated by Cole Arthur Riley. And this is more nonfiction, and it's definitely regarding religion, Christianity specifically. So if you're not really into religion or Christianity or anything like that, maybe skip on ahead with this book and go to the next book I talk about. Because honestly, I didn't rate this one. I don't really rate nonfiction. However, I did want to give this one a shot since also was a new release. It came out in January. I was very curious on my thoughts on this because I've heard pretty good things in regards to this book. But I also really did like the way that the book was structured. It's kind of like more like take what you can get kind of a thing. So you can really just skip around. Even in the audiobook, like you can literally just skip around to what you really need. Because the first part of the book is split into two major sections. One was like, it's pretty much organized by like stories, so kind of like topic. And the other one's more like time, so more like pretty much based on the Christian calendar, basically, any like religious holidays. It's based on that. Those ones I definitely skipped around a lot because I generally don't care for a lot of Christian holidays and stuff. Easter literally just passed on. Easter was literally yesterday. There was one for Easter I didn't care for it so much. And then but for like the story though, it had a lot more interesting topics like doubt, fear, self-love, stuff like that. And I really took a lot from that section. And I really also appreciate how Cole Arthur Riley said like, hey, you can take whatever you need here, take some things that will work for you, take things that don't work for you. And despite this being more focused and more around Christianity, since that's how the author grew up, it is definitely a lot more inclusive and intersectional, since Cole Arthur Riley is black, a woman, queer, and disabled. So, like, she has his different experiences and his different ways to interpret Christianity and also, like, the Bible. So the way that she went about these liturgies, these meditations, these poems in each section and each topic here, it's very, very impactful and actually really insightful, actually. I found this to be something that, like, you know what? If I had a physical copy of this is something I actually would not mind journaling for myself. I really just like the way on how Cole Arthur Riley just talked about her experiences with guarding these topics, and also, like, she also starts each topic with, like, a letter from herself, from her experiences, and especially, like, what she's feeling at the point that she's writing these letters and these sections of the part. I find that really, really helpful. And I also like these inhale, exhale exercises as well. So yeah, honestly, I just recommend it. You still get a lot of it via audio, whether you have it via audio or with the physical or ebook copy. But I definitely see myself getting a copy of myself for myself. So I don't know when, but I really do want to take my own time to just like kind of go through that and do like basically a reread of it. And then the final book that I read in March, full disclosure, I'm literally recording this a couple hours before the live show discussion for this book because, I read Just Happy to Be Here by Naomi Kanakia. This is my first foray into this author's work. Apparently this author has written, I think, another book. So I think it's a sophomore novel. And I think this is going to be the last time I ever read from this author, ever. Just ever. I will link the live show discussion down below. Like, again, as I'm recording, the live show discussion has not happened, but by the time this video goes up, it will. So, y'all gonna know my full thoughts in that discussion. Because I ain't gonna tell y'all much over here. Just know that this is actually the worst book I read this year so far. That's just great, right? No, y'all, I literally give this book 1 star. I gave it 1 star. I really thought Lord of the Wilds was the worst book I've read so far this year, but then this book topped it. If you don't know what this book is about, it is a young adult queer contemporary novel following a trans girl named Taro who just wants to be accepted as a girl in this all-girls school academy. She wants to go to this like elite, prestigious club for girls. Just me thinking about the synopsis of this book just makes me mad because I'm like, the way we kind of veer off this so quickly, but also not as quickly. Like, it's quick, but not quick enough. I'm just like, I have complicated feelings about this, honestly. I don't know how our discussion is going to go, but I will say this for sure, that I think the discussion will be worth your time if you're interested in this book at all. Personally, I do not recommend this. Please note, for content warnings, we have transphobia, externalized transphobia, but also a lot of internalized is transphobia as well. We have racism. What else? Bullying. My brain is already blanking. Hold up, y'all. I need to actually remember what all these content warnings are because, no, y'all need to know what, if any of y'all actually want to read this, you need to be prepared for what you're going to get for. Okay, fine. Okay, cool. Alright, finally found all the content warnings. Thank you, Storygraph. So yeah, transphobia, bullying, cursing, if that matters to y'all for a YA novel. Racism, dysphoria, classism, ableism is minor. Drug use is also minor, even though I don't remember any use of drugs in this book. Maybe it's mentioned, I have no idea, but I generally don't remember. And sexual content, which is really minor. It's such a minor thing, honestly. But yeah, definitely heavy, though, on transphobia, racism, dysphoria, bullying, and classism, though, for sure, on those 5 things. So yeah, these are my very general thoughts before the live show on this book. Good lord, y'all, I don't like this book. Just watch the live show if you want to know my full thoughts. Because right now, just I want to be done with this book so bad. And that's literally how I ended up the month. Yeah, I ended that month with that book. So, yeah, I need April to be better because good lord. Oh, gosh. But yeah, I have these 2 books physically that I have. One that I own, one from the library. That's it. This is it. And then audiobook, ebook. That's all, y'all. That's all I got for y'all. And most of it, and then half of it wasn't even that great. I mean, you have one pretty solid book. I mean, granted, you know, Faebound was a solid book. Only for the Week was pretty good. Black Liturgies, well, I didn't rate it. I really enjoyed it, and I wouldn't mind getting a physical copy. It's just that this book just had to tank it down. And since you only read 4 books, that also tanked down the average rating. So, yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Anyways, I really am hoping for April to be way better. Please. I need it for myself and my own mental health. Okay? Please. But yep, that's pretty much it. Y'all let me know, what did y'all read? Did y'all read any good books? What were y'all's best books? Worst books? Let me know about that too. I'm nosy. If you made it this far in the video and you just want to leave me an emoji, leave me a fairy emoji or an elf emoji. Fairy or an elf emoji in the comments down below to represent Faebound. So we have elves and fae. But anyways, thank you all for coming onto this channel, and I hope to see you all in my next one. Bye.